stop you. Something very important has happened in the court, and we'll play out the graphics. A very important statement has come. One of the petitioners have said, कि SIT गठित होनी चाहिए, SIT होना चाहिए, and Supreme Court said that in present situation हम अनुच्छेद 32 के तहत दायर याचिका स्वीकार नहीं कर सकते. So the Supreme Court is saying that they cannot accept petition under the para 32, which is the provision 32. Supreme Court also said something very important. Our reporters are saying that Meithei samudaya के एक संगठन की याचिका में कहना है, a Meithei community which petitioned the court apart from the cookies, they are saying that this violence is happening because of narco-terrorism. And the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of India have said, you cannot make one ethnicity, you can't treat them like terrorists. And the Chief Justice of India said, please get us facts. Supreme Court ने याचिका को सुनने से मना कर दिया, which means that Supreme Court is saying that baseless charges should not be made. A very important. This petition will amount to branding a particular segment of population as terrorists. We cannot do this. SC refuses to entertain a PIL in Manipur matter that sought a probe in the issue of narco-terrorism, deforestation, poppy cultivation, transnational migration and blockage of highways. Mr. Tombing, your comment. A very important development in the Supreme Court of India. A very important development has taken place. Your yes, comments, Mr. Tombing.
Yes, I applaud this comment of the Supreme Court, and this has in one way vindicated many of the narratives and arguments that have been put forth by the Zou community intellectuals and spokesperson. Because the parallel that I want to draw is, now we have internally displaced people from both the communities. If you say there is a refugee seekers because of the Myanmar junta related problem, and if you personalize them, you can see that they are merely poor people who have been drawn out of their home. They want some shelter, they want food, they want education for their children. Now, for the internally displaced people who happen to be Kuki Zou communities also, it's the same experience. And when we have created a narrative that they could be narco-terrorists, we are making helpless people being demonized. And the outcome is there is a top-down radicalization of the commoners.
And we also have those visuals. Mr. Tombing, we have those visuals. I would like them to play the visuals of the border. Please play out the visuals of the border, which our reporters have got. Let us play out these visuals, Let us play these visuals out. Mr. Tombing, you complete your argument, then I'm going to go to the Colonel Saab on this. Very important thing.
Because
can you put Mr. Tombing on screen, Shalini, with Mr. With the visuals? Yes, please go ahead.
Because my understanding is they are helpless people. They just want shelter. And in the top-down level, when you have radicalized these asylum seekers, right? And when you collate it with our internally displaced people, you get to know that how helpless they are. And when you have successfully radicalized a certain section of society, what did you get? You get ethnic clashes. And what is the outcome of that? Whatever progress Manipur state has made in 2 decades has been in shambles. And this is not helping anyone. When it comes to insurgency movement, we know that this is for political aspiration and self-determination. But this demonization and then the narrative that has created, it's going to scar the memories of young people, as young as 5, up to young adults, and even middle-aged people also. And that has, in fact, eaten away and destroyed the fabric of this beautiful state of Manipur. How do you fold it back? How do you make a U-turn? But then in this 90 days of whatever has happened, these feelings are getting concretized and cemented. Is it worth it that you created an idea of a narco-terrorist to a certain asylum seeker and thereby making a blanket statement that everybody is like that? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Colonel Saab? Very important CGI obiter dicta. This is an obiter dicta, sir. This is not a This is not an order. I must clarify to our viewers that this is an obiter dicta. This is an obiter dicta. This is not an order. He refused the petition. So I must be very clear. Obiter dicta. And this is the oral observation recorded in the court and reported by the press. Colonel Saab.
Sorry, I couldn't get the what exactly the court is
Sir,
saying.
okay, I'll read it out for you, sir. Supreme Court refuses to entertain a PIL in Manipur matter that sought a probe in the issue of deforestation, poppy cultivation, transnational migration, blockage of highway and narco-terrorism. CGI says the petition will amount to branding a particular segment of population as terrorist. We cannot do so.
Okay, got it. Now, as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, or what is the whatever verdict it has given, it is to the wisdom and the capability of the Supreme Court, which I cannot refute in any case. However, what I interpret from this is they are saying that this cannot be dealt in the. If there is a case of narco-terrorism then or illegal immigration, it has to be sorted out by at the government level. It cannot be debated or argued in the court of law. So the due process of the law, as per the rules that are applicable and are available to the powers and the tools available with the government, state and the center, there are narcotics control bureaus, there are other authorities. Immigrations can be checked. If there are immigrations, then it has to be checked. And if there are narco-terrorism or narcotics are being peddled in, it can be checked. It should be checked. And those are the things which we have to deal with at the ground level. Maybe the Supreme Court is right in his statement saying that you deal this at the government level. That is what I read it, but it has not said that it is not there. Nor do I say that it is there, but then we need to, there is a considerable amount of activities hinting to these 2-3 things. One is the narcotics peddling. The second is the weapons, gun running, excessive amount of guns, weapons coming in. And the third thing is the militancy of the armed rebels, whichever the same background, they are interfering in the internal matter this side. There are enough adequate hints of that, including a statement by the Chief of Army, ex-Chief of Army Staff General Naravne 2 days back, where there are hints that the Chinese hand cannot be just ignored. That is what I have also been insisting. So the Supreme Court ruling says we will not deal with it, but what I understand is that they have not said no, it is not there. It may be there, so we have to deal with it at the government level, at the state level, and the citizens level. The citizens themselves have to be aware, have to be concerned that these will someday eat into their own society, both the cookies, Nagas, and Metis. So we as citizens, we have already faced the menace of drugs. Maximum number of families in both in Chandrachud or cookies and as well as the Metis have gone through the pains and pangs of drug addiction and deaths in the family.
Your first comment, it's a, this is an obiter dicta. It's not an order, but it just tells you the direction of the court.
Well, I think it was an excellent comment made by the Chief Justice. I was hearing the proceedings of the court, and Chief Justice was very clear that, if you bring issues like narco-terrorism, then deforestation, basically in the current context, you are identifying one particular group to be narco-terrorists or the people who are involved in deforestation, etc. And I don't think the court could have intervened in that manner. And it's very unfortunate that when you see this kind of petitions coming up before the court, and court is forced to actually in a way recuse itself or speak in a manner which is perfectly all right for the court, but the procedures of the court is not to be abused or misused. And the court was very much right to reject the petition itself, and the number of authorities they have what to say brought in. you know, I don't think court could have ordered